Hello everyone and welcome to uh, another double feature draft. Um, okay, the Runastrom Kirk isn't actually that great of a card. 3 mana, 1 for flyer, and then of course you can do some stuff, put some stuff from the graveyard on top of your library, but it's not gonna be easy to have a creature card with mana value of 6. I guess you could draft around it a bit if you first pick it, but I don't want to have a lot of 6 mana creatures in my deck, so uh, I don't think I'm gonna pick that. I will take the Malevolent Hermit though. Rite of Oblivion is also pretty nice, and then there's the Mark of Mark of Vulture, which is really decent too. But they are 2-color cards. This is a single color card, definitely great value. Um, nice disruptive 2-drop with stats for a 2-drop, and then of course as a bonus you get just a Windrake from your graveyard when it has died. So pretty easy pick, I think. And Fateful Absence, Brine Comer. This thing gives counters when this or other creatures die. It's fine, but not necessarily the white card I'm gonna pick here. Now the Fateful Absence is definitely good, but this does give you give the opponent in the end a card when they get to crack the clue token. But it's just often just worth it because um, you ideally kill something that's a big problem currently, and then you get rid of it for very cheap, and then it's worth making the opponent use 2 mana to draw a card in that case. The Ecstatic Awakener is also very strong. I think I'll take the Absence and really hope that no one else, if would be blue-white, maybe Brian Comer could come back. But I think the decision is between the Ecstatic Awakener and the Faithful Absence. I'll take the removal spell now. Alright, so there's a Lantern Bearer. That's a rather easy follow-up. There's some decent black here actually. There's decent green here too. But this Lantern Bearer is really good. So, and from this pack, only 2 rares have been picked, which means that I have no indication of what is open. This doesn't mean that black or green are necessarily open, because in double feature drafts, there are 2 rares in the pack, so they could be just rare drafters to my right. So I don't consider anything to be particularly open here at this point. Now 1 rare is still left here, so and all the uncommons. This is an interesting pack. 1 rare and 2 commons have been taken here, but I mean, no one took the Lantern Bearer here. I'm passing another Burly Breaker here, but of course I'll take another Lantern Bearer. I will at least be, blue here based on what I've seen so far. There's a Beloved Beggar. I never actually really like this. It's a decent, blocker early, but it has no power. It can't attack at all, and then it's a quite expensive flyer which you will eventually get out of this. I don't think I care about it too much. Qatar's call is not great. I have passed some good green, but I feel like maybe I should take the Mariner here. I don't think this is a good blocker, yes, but is it the kind of card I really want to play here? 6 mana 4/4 Flying Vigilance when it dies. I'll take the thing that I think green might be open here. So that's the reason I take it. The Hooked Mariner here, but now I also see a Search Party Captain here, which is definitely nice. I wouldn't mind a Cradle of Safety, I quite like it actually. Festival Crasher is good, but yeah, if I would take now a green card, it would be the Timberland Guide. But let's take the Captain here. It's actually quite decent with the Lantern Bearers, because these are, it's easy to attack with these things and then make this cost less early in the game. A turn 3 play easily with the Lantern Bearers. Alright, so this pack has clearly 1 very good card, and then the rest not so amazing. Candle Trap is like okay, but the Ecstatic Awakener is easily the best card in here. So now it's a kind of a decision point in the draft. Do I want to take the Awakener, which is the best card, or just take the Candle Trap? The Awakener is really good with the Lantern Bearers too. I really don't like this card too much, so I'll take the Awakener in case I end up black here, because that is such a decent card. Alright, so how about this pack? Nothing too amazing here. There is a Novice Occultist though, it does work nicely with the Awakener, which I might take here. Sunset Revelry is okay white card, but yeah, I think I'll take this Occultist now because of the Awakener here. Okay, so now we don't actually see a lot of blue here now. So I got these lantern bearers and then it almost dried up. So I guess there's like a chance this will be a black and white deck too. So am I going to take the Cathar Commando or Desperate Farmer? It's gonna be one of those. It's not gonna be the Crystal Reacher or the Nurturing Presence or the the green card or the red card either. I guess I take the 2-drop. I'll take the 2-drop, but it's not an easy decision. Okay, Rhinecomer came actually back. Well, this is it. There's also the Paris Blade Trainee, but now I'm happy I took the Cathar Commando because I'm not going to draft black here. If I get a Rhinecomer here this late, I can try to have some kind of a nice blue-white deck here. And Unruly Mob isn't super amazing. I like Cradle of Safety actually quite a bit more, and this is most likely gonna be a blue-white deck now. Flare of Fate. It's a playable trick. Also extremely cuttable card. Alright, Sanctify, not in best of 1, so I will take the uncommon. Okay, the rescue could be played if I find enough spirits. Okay, first of all, I saw already the packet. As you can see, I'm amused by it, but I cut the non-white, non-blue cards for now. So I'm gonna take the by invitation only, but look at these cards. There's also the uncolored dual land here. Would be a fantastic pick here. If it was a weak pack, I would be happy to still take this because it's just free mana fixing. But there's also Traveling Minister, which I would take over the dual land. But obviously, I'll take by invitation only. It's just a amazing rare here, so let's take it. Okay, there's a Torrents, but now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue cards, out of which 4 are actually very nice. The Cradle of Safety isn't exactly a strong reason to be a blue in this draft, but 2 Lantern Bearers are high quality cards, and so are the Hermit and the Brinecomer. So I don't really think that I'm gonna take the Torrents and try to be green-white after all, although this is an extremely strong creature. But with my blue cards, probably not, because I can just take the Triskaideka file. Maybe sometimes you actually have time to draw some cards with it, but it's even if you don't, it's a 2-mana 1/3 okay defensive play. Yep, I'll take it. And okay, good options, multiple good options. There's a Lunar Rejection, Gabony Dawn card, Traveling Minister. They are like the decision is made between those two. There's also the Soul Guide Grief, the Red Strong, which are not really gonna be picked here. Black has actually a nice rare and a nice removal spell. Red has some interesting stuff too. Although the egg really requires some, it's not playable in every red deck because you require a decent amount of instants and sorceries. Now, I'm not really sure. I like the Rejection, I like the Dawn card, but the Traveling Minister is just too good, and I'm gonna take it. It's such a nice 1-drop. Adeline, pick 4. Okay, is blue and white open here? Although there is also a nice red card, but well, obviously pick is Adeline. Now this Covetous Castaway, this is the kind of a 2-drop this step creature I really like here. I mean, this is quite similar to the 04 white card I saw in the previous pack, but this is this is at least 1/3, and also it's a 5 mana this step cost, not a 6 mana. So this is literally, well, not literally, but it is in most of the scenarios this is just a better card. Alright, so I mean a nice pack. I would be happy to with multiple of these cards, but of course I will take the Adeline. Hallowed Respite. Now this is a on-color 2-color rare, but it's just not a very good one. Exile target non-legendary creature. So okay, it is, and this is a sorcery. If it was an instant, of course it would be a lot different, but it's a sorcery. So you get a +1/+1 counter, and then you get to tap if it's an opponent's creature. Now the thing that this does, which may not always be obvious, if you have a disturb creature with the backside up, you can, for example, the Benevolent Geist. I actually should pick something here. I'll take the Grief Rider here. I'm not sure if this is the best pick, but I had to take something. I was just so stuck with explaining about the card. But what you can do is you can reset the disturb creatures. So if I have the Benevolent Geist, I use that rare card. I will have a Malevolent Hermit coming back, with the +1/+1 counter. That's what it does. Alright, so here I'll take the Evolving Wilds here. Mana fixing, thank you very much. And here Cathar Commando, Gaslight Snare, Spirits or Enchantments. I have a little bit of both, but not really a lot. I'll take the 2-drop. And this is actually quite nice. It has ability that can get rid of artifacts and enchantments, which can be relevant. Alright, Sunny Gold Barrage, I really like this as a sideboard card. I don't like it as a main deck card. This is a best of one draft, of course. Blue isn't, by the way, open. I haven't seen really blue here. I'm not gonna play the Sunny Gold Barrage because it's so bad against some decks which might not have high toughness creatures at all. Wow. I really want to have the mana fixing land, but there's a traveling minister here. Jeez. My mana would be so much better if I took this now. I'm actually taking it here. I think I will find enough playables, but passing the traveling minister does hurt, but I have here early game already, and even though the card is good, it's not a bum or anything like that, so I think I might take the 5 mana tapper here. Cathar's Call isn't just very good. But yeah, this is amazing mana fixing. That's why I took it. Okay, Gavony Dawn God. Oh, okay, white is super open. If blue isn't really open, white is super open. I even have the Griff, which is a decent one because it can exile something from the opponent's graveyard, which is often relevant in this format. So Adamant Will or Clarion Cathars. I guess I'll take the Cathars here. I have already one trick here in Flight of Fate. Okay, neither of these is good, but I guess this is maybe like slightly better than the unreliable lifelink. Yeah, white was like totally open here. I get a white mythic rare here now. This one says, yeah, this is the training guy. Yeah, I guess it's fine. I have played against it, but I'm not sure if I ever got to play this card in limited. Up until now, that is. Yeah, I'll take it. It's not a bum mythic or anything, but it's still good. How about something great blue? Oh, Angelfire Ignition. I took the Sunrise Cavalier earlier too. I mean, this. If I took some of the red removal, but I got the Brine Comer and yeah, I mean, I have here what 6 blue cards, so it's not really great. I mean, I'll take the Circle of Confinement from here. I'm just kind of thinking if I should have changed to some other color than blue. Of course, white was the correct one to be in. Well, anyway, I'll take the circle here. And we have here, well, a mediocre pack. I might actually take the Screaming Swarm. Yeah. Rite of Oblivion, which is a splashable card, actually. I have an Evolving Wilds, but darn. It's only one black card. The Ecstatic Awakener is not really that splashable. Alright, I'll take the flyer here, 6 mana flyer, fine. How about this pack? How many humans do I have? 13, okay, well, Resistance Squad is pretty easy pick then. Curve-wise, well, I have a lot of 3s, but I mean, so many humans, I'm gonna draw a card quite often from this type of thing. So let's take it. Okay, another Mark Walter. It seems like I maybe should have been red and white in this draft. But yeah, I guess the pack 1 blue cards really kind of locked me into blue when maybe I shouldn't have done. Maybe I shouldn't have locked to blue quite that early. Now the Wonderlight Spirit actually wouldn't be that bad, but I'd rather have take a 2-drop than a 3-drop. So because you can see the mana curve here. Wonderlight Spirit isn't necessary here. Well, there's the payoff for being blue. Dorothea Vengeful Victim. This is here because of it's white, not because it's blue, because blue hasn't been very open. There's a Heron of Hope, which would have been a fine pick, but I mean, obviously, it's gonna be Dorothea. Now I'm a lot less sad about drafting these colors. Still a decent red card here. Alright, so is it gonna be the Silverbolt, Amalgam, or the Heron of Hope? Because all of those could be picked. I guess I have a 5 mana creature here. I have, of course, haven't got really any removal, so I will take the Silverbolt now. I don't have much or any life gains energy, so I think I don't need the 4-drop flyer for that. Here. Am I going to play a Secrets of the Key? I have a bunch of cuts to make, but I also have some cuts that are easy to make. I don't know, but I will pick it just in case I feel I need some kind of card draw. A larger zombie, that's quite unlikely to be played. Yeah, it's It's not the worst. It can even mill some D-step creatures, but I don't think I want to play 1/3 defender. No, I'll take the Mark Walter because no one else took it. I'm taking it. I'm not playing two of these guys, so I'll just take the uncommon now. And Rite of Oblivion. Still, I could consider about the splash, but with another album, it would be. I don't think it's worth still. Just one card. Whatever. I don't think I'm gonna make the splash because it's just one card. If I had two black cards, then it would be maybe worth. I mean, two good black cards, then it might be worth it to make your mana a little bit worse. But with just one, maybe not. Okay, well these are not in my colors, so let's go here and make some cuts. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be. If I play the 6-drop, it feels like it's still gonna be 17 lands, but let's see. How many spirits I have here? 6. That's kind of almost good enough, but I don't think I care about the rescue. I will play these 4-drops here just because I don't have a lot of 4-drops here, and then I'm going to make some cuts. Hmm. 7 cuts is actually quite a lot. I need to just start cutting some rather obvious things like a Celestus Sanctifier. How many 2-drops? I don't want to play these Vampire Slayers if I have enough 2-drops without them. So that is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what these 1-drops. That's fine. Then I will play all these 3-drops. I still have a human count of 13, but I might. Well, I have 20 creatures. I'm going to cut some creatures. So now the question is, which creatures am I going to cut here? I think the Shield Passer is kinda okay here. Cradle of Safety. So this is 7 non-creatures. I feel like I don't really need to cut many non-creatures. I could cut the Secrets of the Key. I have the Triskaideka file to draw some cards, but and this is really not so good. I mean, the 4 mana instant from Crimson Vow is so much better than that. Here you have to first pay 3 mana for 1 card, and then you have to pay 8 mana for 2 cards. But you can of course split the costs, but it's a very slow way to gain. In the end, it will be 3 cards, but for 1 card. For one, this Secrets of the Key, this will give you 3 cards in the end, but it's gonna take a long time. So maybe not. But now it's gonna be harder. I guess the Flare of Fate might be not that important. So I did actually cut 2 non-creatures. Now it's gonna be 2 creatures. Unless I want to play 16. Don't think I want to. But I like these creatures. I don't really feel like cutting a Cathar Commando. How about the Beckweiler? It is a tapper, but I mean, can I play 16 lands in the end? If I just cut the 1 5-drop, I have 1 6-drop in the deck, 1 5 mana, mass removal in the deck. Could I play 16 lands now? I have most of the cards do cost only at most 3 mana, and the Captain can also be a cheaper card than 4. Hmm. 19 creatures. That seems a lot of creatures, but why am I playing all that? I kind of like the Screaming Swarm here. To have I have maybe I'm a bit low on kind of the finishing potential in this deck. I do want to have some ways to actually win the game. So I do want to play the 4-drop. The Cathars maybe, I mean, I like it sort of, but could be also not so necessary here in this deck. Because I could cut what I'm thinking here is cutting the Cathars and then maybe after all playing the Flare of Fate to have a little bit of tricks here. Not just play 19 creatures here. 3/3 and a 1/1. So if I do that, I can then put back the Flare of Fate, and I think this is a fine 16 land deck, because most of my, I mean, only 4 cards require more than 3 mana, and out of these, even one of them can be cheaper. So I think this is fine. Yeah, that is it. 16 lands, and with the 2 lands that fix my mana, it should be quite easy to still have a... I mean, I have a lot, I mean, 17 white, 8 blue, and a lot of double caster whites, but still the blue cards here are early drops, so I need to be able to play the blue early. So it's not optimal in that sense, but I do need to have islands here. These both can be blue mana, so I need a minimum of 5, but maybe actually 6 islands. So if I put 6, that would leave me 8 planes. That would be like 10 planes or white sources total for these double casters. 10 is quite good. Yeah, these blue things, I want to have the 8 ways to get the blue mana for these early drops. Yeah, it has to be like that. Has to be like that. Let's use this one. Alright, so I did end up cutting the Clarion Cathars, which I think was fine curve-wise, but still maybe not as good as the other options in here. How about the Grief Rider? Is it gonna be easy to train this? It's actually not gonna be that easy to train it. It is a flyer though, but I might still be maybe more interested in the Clarion Cathars, just as a, you know, this can actually block nicely. Okay, I'm gonna make the last minute change. I'm going to play the Clarion Cathars. I kind of, mana curve wise, also want to have it here. I have 3 drops already, and this is still going to be 12 humans, so 11 other humans for the resistance squad to draw the card. And I know you could cut a 2-drop to like a Cathar Commando, but I want to be able to curve out. And this deck has so many creatures and cheap creatures also that I can easily play the kind of an invitation only where I have more creatures on the battlefield than the opponent. So I choose a number equal to the opponent's creatures, and then I leave my best few creatures on the battlefield still, and have a massive tempo advantage there. Alright, but this is the deck now. Let's go. Okay, well, 1, 2, 3 drops. Nice. I don't have any exploit, so I probably will be using this Dorothea as a attacker. Other thing that you can do is leave it as a blocker if opponent has a aggressive start, but let's see how it goes. It could be an attacker, and it doesn't of course have to be an attacker on turn 3. I probably want to use it to train the Savior or something. Although, I don't think I'm gonna even play the Savior quite yet. Okay, is the opponent going to do anything? Attacking. I'm not gonna actually use this yet, so I'm just attacking for 1. I don't want to sacrifice it yet. Okay, they haven't played anything. They have 3 colors, but they haven't played anything in the first 3 turns. Cavani Dawn God has Fate. What? 1 and yeah, I can find some creatures. Oh, Mirrorhole Mimic. Now that is a good one, of course. Alright, this is a good one too. So this is... I mean, they get the step card here. I don't like that. I think what I'm doing is I'm going to play the Savior of Olenbog here. And then I get rid of this Cavani Dawn God. I still won't be attacking with the Dorothea. I wanna see if I want to block with it. So now the Savior can exile. I mean, it will be temporarily exiled, but it still can allow me to attack. Because I don't kind of want this to die. If they play it as an aura, then that's gonna be super annoying. But I do need to actually start attacking with the Dorothea too. I mean, attack once with it, and then I can have something else enhanced by that. And I think they're easy. So when this creature attacks, create a 4/4. Yeah, I would be putting that on the Lantern Bearer. But I wasn't gonna use mana for the disturb because that's the reason I didn't attack earlier, because I wasn't gonna use. I was going to play more creatures on the battlefield, so this still costs 3 when it's in the graveyard, so that means that it's out of the pack. Interesting mana base, because this is a double blue card when it's a disturb, and then this is red and green. But yeah, now it's possible that next turn I have the 3 mana disturb up, because I will play now the Shield Basher, and then next turn I can play the Braincomber and the disturb cost here. That said, I don't have an attack. Because, well, actually I do. No, yeah, I was wrong. This is only 2 power. I can exile the Decavani Dawn Guard. This will be 2-3, so this blocking doesn't actually hurt. It has a ward 1, but I can pay it and still have the Shield Basher up. So let's now attack with everything. Now they can block the Dawn Guard, but they will take here 7 damage, but of course the Dorothea will not be around, but I can use the Dorothea on the next turn. And I have this Shield Basher. And now the thing is, they need to take care of the Savior of Ollenbock. Now if they do, it's gonna be good for them, but if not, it's gonna continue exiling their guys, at least temporarily. It can also exile stuff from my graveyard. That's kind of the fallback. When the opponent deals with it, I can get back a creature that died. But I didn't of course have any creatures in my graveyard, and I needed to clear the way. But let's see now what the opponent has. They have 6 mana available and 4 cards in hand. But the Dorothea, or the Dorothea's Retribution on the Lantern Bearer is actually a 2-turn clock, because this will attack for 1 in the air, and then the 4/4 token is also a flyer. Okay, well that thing has reach. It's also a crazy bomb. But I do have the ability to... I mean, it's actually not helping them too much, because I have the Savior of Ollenbock that can get rid of the Child of the Pack. Assuming they don't have anything for 2 blue. That's the thing. The Screaming Swarm was not a bad one. But I have to keep this guy indestructible, otherwise the first strike guy will kill it. And I cannot attack... Well, actually I can attack with Lantern Bearer, because if they don't have anything they can't block it, they will take a lethal damage. Okay, so basically they have to jump block with this guy. Actually I have a lethal attack. That's right, actually. This will be lethal. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work or not. Yeah, I will make it indestructible. That means I can't play the Braincomber post-combat, but if I do it like this, they need to have a bounce on the Ollenbock right now. They are in the blockers, alright, so they will lose. That's enough damage, isn't it? That is 11 damage, yeah, and this would die, because this is indestructible, so... Alright, so actually, I don't think I would have been in a good shape if I didn't have this particular mythic. But the opponent didn't do anything in the first 3 turns. Their first play in the game was the Child of the Pack. And I played, what, 1, 2, 3 drops, and I had the interaction while they didn't. So that's why it was easy to win here. Oh yeah, I'd have actually multiple rares in the deck. I have quite a lot of them. I have the Dorothea, I have the Adeline, I have the by invitation only. Then there's the Mythic rare, the training guy that was in a key part in the previous game, and then I also have the, not a bomb rare, but the Triss guide file, and then also the rare land. So actually a lot of rares in the deck. Okay, I had to pause the recording because, as you can see, the opponent's timer is running out. This hand is actually nice, even though it's just a 2-lander. I have 2 playable spells. But the opponent seems to be AFK, so maybe this is going to be a quickly over. and they auto kept now, and I will keep this, and now they will probably waste another turn and then concede. I mean, or force concede. I will pause now. Oh, actually they did drop an island and play now. Okay, I'll start with the flyer. Turn 2 gather commando, and then if I will attack with both of these in turn 3, I will be able to play this for 2 mana, even if so which is useful if I wouldn't draw the land, but I did. And now that means I can, it's the plains, so that means I will have the Adeline up. I have no non-creatures, so the Thalia is still somewhat annoying as a 2-1 first striker, but I can play the Gather Commando end of their turn, so this is still a nice curve out here. Would they have a... Okay, they have just a Fading Hope. That's totally fine. I'll have my Adeline. Now I could play the Search Party Captain, but obviously Adeline is the play here. Because it would have cost 3 mana. But I don't need the land drop now, I have enough playables here as it is. Plus now they need to do something to the Adeline. If they can make that into 2-3, they have to discard a Spirit, or yeah, they did, someone with this step. So now they can multiple block. Okay, well they can block many things now. So am I willing to... Yeah, the 2-for-1 is okay. The Hook-Haunt Drifter won't be killing Adeline. That's not going to happen. So I can play a creature pre-combat, although this thing has first strike. But it doesn't matter if they use the first striker on a 1-1, then it's not blocking Adeline. So the only way they can kill Adeline is put the Shifters and the Thalia there, and I will have enough creatures to kill them both. Actually, they only have a combined toughness of 4, so I can even... So this updates... Yeah, this updates... Should I attack with... No, I shouldn't. Yeah, this is gonna be a 4-4 when the token comes up. I think I might just play the Shield Passer then post combat. Yeah. The double block is fine. If they do it, I mean they don't necessarily do it, but I think they kinda have to. And I will play the Shield Passer. That means I won't be able to still attack with the Lantern Bearer, but okay, that's gonna meal them. Oh, they go to Gale Drifter. Now, they have a decent stuff, but this is just 5 mana 2-2, and this Shield Passer is actually, they need to deal with it somehow. Oh, they go for the race. They don't care about that. Oh, that's... Let's see if that even is going to be necessary, but now I can play a 1 mana Search Party Captain, that's quite nice. Because I will attack with all of these. And I will use blue mana for Indestructible here. They have a Fading Hope for that thing too. Okay, that's... The hope has been faded. And I mean it's still... They didn't get even the Scry here. They are down to 1 card because they have used the Fading Hopes, but they do have the Disturb cards, they have gotten some value, and this will also be a 3-power flyer, but I don't actually mind that they choose to do those. They just blocked a 1-1 there. Anyway, let's play the Captain for 1, and then I can still play the Gather Commando. If I draw planes, I can play... Okay, I didn't draw planes, but the land is still good. So I can play only one of these, and I think the Commando is what I want to have here. They know about it, but still. That's a 3-1 flyer, can't block ground guys. That's a 2-2 flyer, but it costs 5. And I'm 1 mana away from the Screaming Swarm. Opponent isn't really pressuring me at all with these guys. I have a 3-1 coming up. I can at some point actually start using the Minister. It's funny, this was in my starting hand. I haven't still had an opportunity to play it. That said, opponent has used 2 bounce spells, so of course that's gonna take it longer to empty your hand. Alright, so they have 1 card I don't know about, and then they can play one of these Disturb. They don't have mana for both of them. So they choose to play the more expensive one, makes sense. And they will block the Who Count Drifter will block the 3-1, I think. Oh, they still choose to raise. That I don't understand. Why they know what I have in my hand. They are not winning the race by attacking with the 1-2 that can actually block profitably multiple of these guys. Yeah, I mean, I'll just attack with these and I don't mind the trade here on that thing. They just... Okay, am I scared now that something is coming up? Whatever, I'm just gonna play all this stuff. If they have a buy invitation only. Well, even if they have a buy invitation only, they didn't, but I have still more cards than they. This will be exiling next. But yeah, the thing is that they have used 2 bounce spells on my guys. That's basically tempo at the cost of a card. Now they get cards back, of course. They just got 2 fresh cards. They play the Departed thing, which cannot block my guys, except for the Lantern Bearer. And they choose to attack with that guy. Brinecomer. Well, I can play Brinecomer and the Cradle of Safety. But I want to... No, I don't actually have to make this guy indestructible, because the only thing that can block it is the 1 power guy. So they can only block one of my guys. Do I have a lethal attack here? No. They can still block the 3-1 and they don't die. I'm thinking about it. If there's any... I mean, there's no point playing this pre-combat, right? Yep, there's no. So let's do this. And attack with this. And decline this because it's not necessary at all. Is this the kind of spot where you should actually play around mass removal? Because they just play the Scattered Thoughts. Because if they have a mass removal effect in their deck, that's the only thing I can see how they can win here. Because they're gonna go to a very low life total here. No matter who they block here. The Soul Keeper can block the Lantern Bearer, but then I have a Lantern Bearer in my graveyard, which is gonna be allowed to make some of my guys fly. I mean, maybe I should have pumped the Search Party Captain instead of this Lantern Bearer. No, actually no, because then, well, then this could have eaten at this guy, but I don't know. Let's see how much damage this is now. That's 4, 8. I could make it 9 with this. Well, it's not enough, so I could save the Cathar Commando. Just don't think it's something I need to do here. Because I'm actually going to play a little bit around a mass removal effect. I play the Brinecomer still because it will go to my graveyard to, you know, have this overwhelming board. So they basically need a Wrath effect here. But now if they did have a Wrath effect there, I would still have a follow-up, especially the 4/4 flyer that also keeps coming back. But they didn't have it. Well, my starting hands. Oh boy, I do have multiple 1-drops though, and a lot of 2-drops. That's the reason I had some difficulty in making the final cuts in the deck, is that I didn't want to cut my 2-drops really. I did cut the Vampire Slayers. Okay, they have a Smoldering Egg. Sure. Now I have a cheap Search Party Captain, unless I draw Plains, in which case I would just play the Dawn Guard. Search Party Captain or... No, I'm going to play the Brinecomer actually. It's more efficient use of mana because the Search Party Captain can be even cheaper. Because this gives me the flyer. It can easily be a 1 mana spell. Not sure if it's useful because I have only 1 Plains and only white cards in my hand, but... Okay, Delver. Okay, now this is talk about the deck that has a plan. I mean, all of these reward playing instant and sorceries. Nice one. But the thing is they have 2 0-power creatures, and Delver can block the Cathar Commando if they want to do that block, that is. I'm not gonna Fateful Absence it. That's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna play the Search Party Captain this turn. So I don't see any reason not to attack with everything. I guess, yeah, well, it's kinda, I mean, whatever. I offered them to block with the Delver here, but they can just do just this. That's the kind of thing. But I also wanted to attack with these guys so that this is an actual 1-mana spell. I needed to attack with at least 3. So might as well attack with everything. Okay, so I do have, my deck has a lot more. Is the first Delver gonna flip? No. I mean, first Delver trigger. I did play, I mean, this deck has 8 planes and 6 islands, and then the two ones that can be both. Okay, the Clarion Cathars is actually quite good with by invitation only, because it gives yet another you know, sacrifice fodder for the by invitation only. I think I still just attack with everything, don't even worry about too much what they can have there. I do have a Fateful Absence if I need it. If they have like a pump spell. Now, of course the thing that I'm now worried about is a counter spell, but there's not really anything else for me to do than play the Clarion Cathars. And they have it. They always have it. They also get a token, a Decayed Zombie, which makes my by invitation only so much worse. Well, they don't always have it. I have played spells so that they haven't been countered, even when opponent had blue mana up and cards in hand. But it's such a difference now if they, instead of having this counter spell, had just like a random creature there. Oh, they are gonna sacrifice this. That's good. That makes my by invitation only slightly better. Point is that if I got a 3/3 and a 1/1 there, I could have just launched the by invitation only, choose 3, and then still have my biggest guys on the battlefield and some disturb creatures in my graveyard. That would have been amazing. Anyway, I don't feel like, I mean, I could use the Fateful Absence, but I really hate to give them the clue token when they have mana up to use it even. Well, I just keep attacking here. I guess they can now attack with the Delver in the ground. They only take 2 in the air. Well, kind of awkward. I can't play even the Gavony Dawn Guard here. Let's see if they get to flip the Delver at some point. At least I know what they draw if they show it to me. They revealed it. It's a mountain. Okay. There's a Dreadlight Monstrosity. That has a ward too. I mean, it is a ground guy. It does not... Because the problem is... Oh, sorry. I hit my mic there. Problem is if I... If the dragon hatches, but I guess I do have the by invitation only. If I just ever draw the... a second white for it. I'm going to Fateful Absence this. I have to... So it's a ward 2, right? Yep, I can do that. I can do that. Now that they are tapped out, it's fairly safe to do, but... I need my second white to play the Dawn Guard. I need to have more creatures than they... Okay, finally. Need to have more creatures than they, so that by invitation only can be good spell. Again, I will continue attacking with this. I have established that I'm going to attack no matter what, so maybe if I draw my trick at some point, they will just block anyway. And this is the correct play. Why would they take any extra damage here? But it's better. It would be weird if I just stop attacking suddenly now. Alright, so now I have the Cradle of Safety still up. This has ward 1, and if the opponent chooses to... I mean, if they continue playing nothing, at least I will get potentially value from the Dawn Guard. Plus now I have a 3/3 guy, which they can still block. Okay, Geist Wave can bounce any non-land permanent. Well, if they target my stuff, I can Cradle it. So they draw a card that leaves them the 2 mana up. Geist Wave, that does mean that the Delver is now bigger. But... yeah, the by invitation only isn't too good now. But they do have to respond. Okay, now they don't have this thing up. Alright, things are a lot easier for the by invitation only. I think I will just simply choose 4 here and leave my Dawn Guard. I mean, they lose their board. They lose their board. And then I attack for 3. And then the bounce spell doesn't even do much. I mean, it does pretty much nothing. I don't think I have any good attack now. I don't. So 4 on this thing. Now they can draw a burn spell for it now that I don't have the Cradle of Safety up. But if they don't... okay, now they actually they have nothing, so I get to trigger this thing, which gives me a pretty good rare. Okay, nice. Yep, they don't have any reason to continue. If I mean, assuming they drew like a land there, there's nothing. They could like bounce one of my guys, but even if I didn't have the Cradle, it's not gonna win them the game. Okay, mass removal won the game, and it was needed there. That could have been a hard game to win without the board clear there. And the Faithful Absence is, by the way, yet another rare in my deck I forgot to mention earlier. Okay, I go first. If one of these was an island, this would be yet another amazing hand. But now I have a Cathar Commando. If I draw any land and I'm able to attack with this, I get to do this. I have a Flare of Fate. I will keep it now, but of course I have only 6 islands and 2 other lands that can give me blue mana. But now the first priority in this hand is just to draw any land. So my plan would be to play this at the opponent's end step on their turn 2, and then attack with it, and then play this for 3 mana if I just have the 3rd land. Oh, well, I guess it's easy then. I mean, this was the first draw here. And it was that thing. Timberland Guide. Am I going to offer to trade here? I might. Let's see what I draw first though. It's just a 3-1. A green deck can easily outclass a 3-1. So let's trade here. Okay, that's interesting. And now I'm gonna make this play because I drew the other 2-drop here. This makes the Search Party Captain potentially a 1 mana play. So I can play it on the next turn and have the Flare of Fate up, or just have the Lantern too. Black and green. Yeah, that was the reason they chose not to block there. But I have the trick, and that's the reason I wanted to put this thing in my deck anyway. Yep, no blocks. They would take 7 damage. I think they have to, you know, play into this trick. So this is gonna give only humans at +3/+3, so it doesn't make any sense attacking with the Lantern Bearer, because they could block it and then it would be bad. But now they take 6 damage anyway. Unless they do have to do this. So I can play 1 spell post-combat. Now because I attacked with only 2, actually this is a 2 mana spell, so I will play the Lantern Bearer instead. Which is fine if they don't have another of those reach guys. Because then I can just pressure them in the air. But if they have another thing that has reach, I think I will be in big trouble in that case. Oh, or flying now that they have also blue. Because I have only like 3 1s and 2 2s and 1 1 flyers and a 2 1 here. So the flyers need to do the work here. That's a good one, but it doesn't fly. Also, it doesn't even block profitably yet. So that's totally fine for me. I don't have second blue, so there's no point playing this pre-combat. I will just attack with everything, play the 1 mana Search Party Captain then. They seem to have something, but what else can it be than a Consider? It can be a Fading Hope, yeah, that's what it can be. But I don't really mind if they're Fading Hope by my 1 or 2 mana creature. So the Timberland Guide will most likely block with one of the 3/1s, but they might still take 5 here. I don't think the Hound Tamer is going to block anything here. Would be pretty great for me, I mean, if it did. But they are now at that much life, and then I draw a card and play the Hermit. Or, you know, I could draw a better 3-drop, of course. This is a werewolf. How convenient is that? I kinda don't want to show it, but I do because next turn I might want to use 3 mana on this, and then I want to maybe have, if I don't draw a land, I want to still have this Hermit activation up. So now let's give them the information that yes, I do in fact have, and they had to consider, yep. It wasn't a Fading Hope. They didn't keep another consider, okay. So now Hound Tamer is not gonna be an issue at all. But they can still have something else that is big. And that can block these guys. That's not big. I can attack into that. Sounds good now. And I have the counter spell up if they let me untap, which they do. Kind of awkward though, because I will kill the Hound Tamer. That allows the search party captain to attack. I think it's still worth keeping up the mana for the counter spell. I don't necessarily need a Traveling Minister for anything. If they have a bounce spell, they can save it with a bounce spell. If they have a fight spell they want to use before it dies, that's also something they can do. But I do have a Malevolent Hermit here. Clear shot would be killing this. Now I can counter that. Because now they would be... It's not like amazing if I counter it. Because the Harvestite Sentry is gonna block the Gather Commando anyway. So let's say if I don't counter it, they will block the Search Party Captain. They will take 4. If I counter it, they will block the Gather Commando and take 4. But in that scenario, I do have the Malevolent Hermit in my graveyard. I can play it as a 2/2 flyer, and I can also play the Traveling Minister on the next turn, regardless of what I draw. So I think I do counter it. So the amount of damage I get to deal is the same, but it's better to have the Hermit in the graveyard than on the battlefield. Unless I want to leave the, the counter spell up, but okay, well, as long as they don't have flyers, I'm gonna be in decent shape here. All right, so this is a human too. So post combat, I play this and this. I mean, they're gonna block that anyway. I guess I'll just. I'm just thinking I can miss the card draw if I attack first and they block this, and then I play the minister and then the squad, and in response to the squad they kill the minister somehow, which they could do because it can pump the flyers. So the safest way to draw a card. Also, that means they have information when they make the block decision, but they're gonna make the same decision anyway. I'm gonna play this now and this now to have two humans here to draw a card, and then I mean this should be fairly easily one now. They are not gonna go to 1 here, so they will block the captain, and then the -2/-0 isn't even a particularly good one now. So now I'm already representing lethal in the air with the Traveling Minister, and they have only 1 card in their hand. 7 lands on the battlefield, I have 4. Huge difference. Also explains how easy time I had. But I could, this deck is, with the low curve decks, it's easy to operate on 4 lands because, your spells are so cheap. So I wasn't in any kind of trouble here with just 4 lands. I could see some other decks I have drafted, mostly something that are probably green, that would have some trouble with only 4 lands, and I would have a lot more cards in my hand and fewer stuff on the battlefield. Okay, this time it is a very nice hand. I can even play the Dawn God. I have the triple white This time don't have a 1-drop, but I can still go 2-3 drop. I have the circle for the early plays and I have Flare of Fate, which is gonna be good with this human. So this is saying that any target gets +2/+2 unless it's a human, in which case it gets +3/+3 and indestructible. So it's quite good when most of your deck is humans. Veteran, okay. I could have played the Circle of Confinement, but I don't care if they get a few points of life here. There might be something much more important to kill than the 1/1. I like the flash here. Imagine if it didn't have flash. Now this would be not so good for me. Yep. Because now I get to deal 3 while they dealt only 1 here. And now I get to play my 3/3 with these tricks backing up. I can, if they play a 3-drop Circle of Confinement, can get rid of it. If they don't, okay. So actually, wow, they even don't play anything, so I get to trigger this thing right away. Alright, well I take the only thing here. There was the mass removal spell, but don't think it matters. So what's this turn gonna do? I'm really tempted because, as you can see, they didn't play a 2-drop, they didn't play a 3-drop, which means they don't have one in their hand. Why would I save this Circle of Confinement for something else? Of course they can draw a 2 or 3-drop, but this is now the moment to play the Circle of Confinement, especially because I can play the Dorothea afterwards. Because this thing can block my 3/1, and I don't want that to happen. I should play the land though, because I have the Cradle here if they have a Fierce Retribution or whatever. Okay, this seems like an easy match. What's going on? Opponent doesn't really do anything. This is not gonna... And I was able to double spell, so I'll play... Well, this is a lot of good options here. They could have enchantment-based removal. In that sense, the Commando is interesting. Infantry and Prime Commoner. This gives me a 1/1 flyer, which can actually matter a lot here. This gives me a 2/2 that can turn into an aura later. I mean, I could take either any of these guys. I think I'll take the Commander because if they have some enchantment-based removal, because they do play white, then I have way to kill it. Although I have another Commando. But this also hits the hardest. That's also something to consider, perhaps. So now they have a Sigarda here. With this kind of art. So it's a 4/4 flying trample. Humans you control get +1/+1. Coven, when it attacks, get a human somehow. Anyway, I have a Flare of Fate here, so why would I care? Why would I care with the Flare of Fate? Yep. If they take the damage, they will lose, so they will have to block. They will lose Sigarda now. They will lose Sigarda or they lose the game, which is their preference here. Was this lethal? Oh man, I was... Yes, it was. I could have given this guy +3/+3 and this +1/+1 or whatever. It would have been exactly 11. I mean, it's fine. It's fine for the reason that even if they have a land by invitation only, I can post-combat a Qatar Commando, which will be lethal with the Cradle of Safety and the Dorothea also. But I mean, I just had lethal against a tapped out opponent, and I didn't, because this was the missing 1 damage I still needed here. Sure, that actually is an artifact which I can deal with the Qatar Commando. They get to exile that thing, but it's not necessary. It doesn't matter because unless they have something... Yeah, I mean they have lost the game now. I can even attack with everything, but this is more style here. I have 2 lethal attackers and the Cradle of Safety is of course going to make it... I mean, this has... Come on, this has Ward 1. They had only 1 mana, so even if they have like a Fading Hope, they couldn't have bounced this. So the Cradle of Safety could have been played on this thing, even if they was able to deal with the Qatar Commando. This was going to deal 4. Alright, so that was... The Sigarda didn't really help them when they had such a low amount of action earlier in the game. Okay, it's still a fine hand, but no 1-drop or a 2-drop means it's not as explosive as my previous ones. I still keep it. I can play the bolt now. Then I only have to use 3 mana on it on a later turn. And the Brine Comber. Okay, another 2 blue, 1 white starting hand, even though I specifically added more planes than islands in this deck because of multiple reasons. Okay, that's an interesting card. Doesn't net you a card, so if they have like a really a lot of graveyard focus, this could be a playable card, but they just use a card to, you know, tune the top of the deck and maybe mill some cards, which can be, given especially with the flashback option, can be worth a card, but it really requires a specific deck to make it worth spending a card. So now they didn't even mill a card, they just rearranged this, the top 3 cards there. Okay. I don't actually have any action here. I'm not going to use the Flare of Fate, so Shift Enter means that I will pass no matter what happens here. There's no scenario where I'm gonna target this guy with the Flare of Fate. At least I don't think there is. I don't want to telegraph that I have the Flare of Fate. Now for the opponent it seems like I have no place. But I did draw the planes, that's actually the important part. Now my Adeline can be a thing here. But am I gonna play the Brine Comber because it's a really nice blocker on this, unless it gets Coven. But let's see what creature they're gonna drop now. But so far this was just a waste of a card. They only rearranged, or maybe even didn't rearrange, but they didn't do anything but check what their top 3 cards are. Okay, so now this has 4 power, this has 3 power. There's a good chance this will have Coven and won't be able to be blocked by the Brine Comber here. I might actually, the safest move might actually be to just kill the tracker here. Because this is 7 damage. If I play my Adeline and they get Coven, I can't block this thing, and of course I'm not gonna block the 4-3 either. If I play the Brine Comber, I'm not gonna jump block the Prior Bridge tracker. I don't quite want to do that. Yeah. I'll do it like this. And I will do it right now because they are tapped out, so no pump spell to save it. They still have now this 3 power attacker for a couple of turns, but and they do get the clue token, so whatever was wasted in the otherworldly case, they are now getting it back with the 2-for-1 Prior Bridge tracker. But are they gonna play a 4-drop or do something with the clue token here? A 3-drop. Okay, well that would have been also a good target, but I couldn't really leave the 4-3 alive. That would have been bad for me. But now, of course, this situation is gonna be very bad for me too. I think it's time to play the Minister anti-Adeline. I think the Shield Passer alone isn't gonna be enough. It can block the Hound Tamer, yes, but I'm not gonna block the Sentry with it. And this Adeline, at least, you know, it offers them something to worry about, and I have a Flare of Fate here, so if I get to attack with Adeline, which, you know, has Vigilance, so it can also block, with the Flare of Fate I can actually maybe not dominate the board, but at least I can stem the bleeding with Adeline. If they don't have, if they have now like a fight spell to get rid of it, of course I'm probably dead, but if not, Adeline allows me to stay in the game. Of course I could also draw my Wrath effect. With the Brine Comber giving me 2 creatures, the Wrath is gonna be potentially allow me to do the same trick that they will have to sacrifice everything and I will get to leave my best cards on the battlefield. But let's see what they do now. I'm at 14, so if they attack with both, I'm not really concerned about dying. They have the counter-adding ability here, so I'm not gonna block anything with Adeline. The point is to get to untap with the Flare of Fate, then the Adeline can do things. So they choose to attack with only the Hound Chamber. Yep, well, it's gonna be a 4-4 if I double block it. Sorry, double block doesn't do anything, but if I block with the 2-4, they can make it into a 4-4. I lose my Adeline. Bird Admirer. Okay, so they don't have now mana up for the. They don't have mana up for this. It's a 4 mana counter adding ability. And this turn cycle means I play the Brine Comber to make Adeline very big. And then I have a Flare of Fate up. And if I don't need to use the Flare of Fate, I have a Cathar Commando up. So this is actually quite nice. I should get a point of life here too while I'm at it. This is gonna create a human creature token, which will get +3/+3. If the human gets blocked by the bird admirer, I could consider... Well, let's first see. I mean, I can just let it go. I think it's more important to save the Flare of Fate on Adeline. It feels like that. I think they might just... Well, they might double block, which wouldn't be the worst for me, actually. So now... I could get rid of the bird admirer. But I think I like the Adeline too much here. Plus, I do have the Gather Commando. If it ends up being so that I don't need to use the Flare of Fate, I can play the Gather Commando. So now they use the flashback here, so they can mill any of those 3 cards. The rest will be on top of their library in any order. Let's see if they get to mill something. I guess they don't need lands here, unless they do have a 6-drop in their hand. So I would assume lands are gonna go to graveyard. But what are they gonna do here? 1 land went to graveyard. So they used a card to mill eventually 1 land and then rearrange the cards in a some way. But now I know that the top 2 cards were something they wanted to have. So whatever is in their hand that's not gonna be just a land. Unless this, maybe if it could be a land if the next card is a 7-drop. Anyway, let's see what happens when they attack. I'm going to block with Adeline. I think it's going to just be a bit too good to block with it. Not the Harvestite Gentry though. I can block a Harvestite. They don't have a Coven now, so I could block it with the Brine Comber. Okay, so now I'll just... So they didn't play a spell, so that means it's gonna become a knight. Well, play this anyway. And Hound Tamer is gonna be a 4/4 instead of a 3/3. It will keep the other wolves and werewolves trampled, doesn't matter in this board state. And the counteracting ability is still just 1 counter for 4 mana, which is good. Of course it's good, but it's not significantly better. But it's fine because this is as a 3 mana. I mean, the day side is already good enough for this card. It's a minor upside on the night side, but it doesn't need a lot of upside. Alright, so of course I know they have 1 card in hand and they can draw the second card, which they know what it is, with the clue token. So their Flare of Fate can be a bit risky. But at the same time, now they have this Wing Shredder here too. I'm gonna play this now. Just to make the Adeline slightly larger. I still can't play the Flare of Fate. There's no point attacking with the flyer because they have the reach guy. I had the opportunity to kill it on the previous turn. I just didn't want to. I would rather get rid of the Untamed Pup or, you know, get rid of 2 guys now. So I'm going to just pump the... I mean, the only thing that can attack is the Adeline here. I could attack with the Brine Comber, but they are just gonna eat it. Yeah, it's too risky. They can block the 1/1 for free. And then the question is, do I even want to use the pump spell here now? Because, I mean, I would if they didn't have a response, but they can have a response to it. If they're gonna just block it with the Sentry and the Wing Shredder, that's a nice 2-for-1. That is a nice 2-for-1. I can save the Flare of Fate for some other turn. Okay, that's not what they're gonna do here. Untamed Pup. Alright, alright. That's also a good trade for me. So they can give a +1/+1 counter on some guy. Because if I now use the Flare of Fate and they have something in response, it's gonna be too bad. I will let this trade happen. If this Adeline trades with the Pup here, I'm fine with that. Now if they're gonna add a counter, they will still have 2 mana left. That means they can't use the clue token to get whatever is on top of the... Oh, they pump that guy. Why? I let the trade still happen. Why would they give a... Do they have something that... I mean, no. That this is still gonna deal 3 more than is necessary. Man, it's so tempting to use this, but... It is really tempting. But no, I'm not using it. I'm gonna use it because I have the Sealed Passer Indestructible guy. Okay, Geist Wave. Okay, now I'm so happy I didn't use it. Alright, so sadly that means I can't even... this is gonna be a 4-4. Yeah, it's not enough to kill that guy. Sure. Let's see. Let's try again then. So they did have... Yeah. I almost used this. I almost used it. So now this card which is in their hand is something they saw with the Otherworldly Gaze. So now they have this one free card draw left, but that's gonna be unknown cards for now. But yeah, the one that's in their hand is not a land because they chose to keep it when they had the option to mill it with this thing. So now they draw the card. That could be a land. Yeah, this got bounced, so boom. Yeah, they could attack with the pop. Yeah, this the counter-adding ability, it does, it matters. Definitely matters. It is gonna make them, I mean, the longer the game goes, the more they get those free counters. I really wanted to, that's the reason I didn't mind the potential trade with the Adeline there. But yeah, now they can just, leave 4 mana up and I guess they can, well, if they have some interaction, then they don't get to put the counter. But yeah, the fact they have this reach guy now, I'm almost sad about not killing this reach guy earlier, because I could still do a bunch of damage with the flyers, especially given the Traveling Minister. Okay. So I get to actually double spell here. And that will trigger the Gavony Dawn card. There's no... Oh, I could have attacked, but... I mean, I could have attacked, but because I can make this into a 5 power guy with the Traveling Minister. But then again, they can make their thing into 6 toughness guy. And I didn't really want to use the Flare of Fate. I wanted to play this here because I will get triggers from it. I'll get triggers from it. So... That's good. And it's gonna become a day now. And if they want to make it back to night to make the reach guy bigger, I get another trigger from this Dawn God. Or then they use whatever interaction they happen to have now. Okay, they just have that thing. Do I find a creature in top 4? I have a lot of creatures. A Lantern Bearer is totally fine. Cradle of Safety was there, went to bottom of library. Why is this in... Okay, they have an Investigator's Journal. I'm gonna kill it with the Gather Commando. That has to happen. That's way too many cards they can draw. They can still draw 1, but because... Okay, they actually... Yeah, this is a 1-drop, so yes, they can... When I target it, they can sacrifice it, and they can still draw another card, but it's still better use for the Gather Commando. Now... What to do here? I mean, I kind of want to get rid of... Well, let's see how they block. The Adeline is actually a massive creature now. Massive creature now. So I'm gonna playing this first. And then I can attack with... Now that they don't have 6 toughness on any of these guys. Because this became smaller one. I can give a boost on the Sealed Passer here. And then I should attack with a number of guys, but but which number of them? Because I also have the Flare of Fate here. I guess I could just attack with everything. If they eat like the 1/1, I don't care. You can use the Flare of Fate. I get the 1/1 token from Adeline. It's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it now. I will sacrifice the Catar Commando before it dies anyway. That was the obvious thing that they're gonna block the Adeline with the Snarling Wolf. They can also put the Harvestite Gentry there, which I don't like too much, but if I mean, let's see if I'm gonna get rid of some of these guys. Both the Hound Tamer and the Bird Admirer are things I kinda do need to get rid of. But I don't have any plan before I see how the blocks go. I don't think this attack was bad at all. They can eat some of my small guys for free. That doesn't matter. Okay, now that could be potentially used for a Flare of Fate. Then I can post-combat sacrifice steal the Cathar Commando. Dawn Guard is... Okay, if they're gonna just jump block the Adeline, I don't mind it. Okay, and now I could get... So yeah, I can get rid of the Bird Admirer or the Hound Tamer, not both. I still feel like the Hound Tamer is the thing I need to get rid of more. This is a human, so it will get +3/+3 and even indestructible here. Oh, was this... Man, I didn't even check if it was lethal. I don't think it was. No, it wouldn't have been, but I should have done the math there. I could have given this +3/+3. They would be at 4 now. But now look at this board, and they have only one creature. If they kill the Adeline, that's only one thing they need to do here. I mean, that's something they need to do, but they also need to do a lot more than that. I haven't, by the way, in any of these games drawn the Triskai deck of whatever, the 1/3. Because that would be actually a fine card now, draw some cards. Okay, they get 5 extra life, that was a good one, but still that has to trade with Adeline, unless this final card in their hand is doing something, but that was good, they still have the reach guy there. So Adeline, I'm gonna continue attacking with everything for sure. I don't think they're gonna block the... I mean, if I put this on the Sealed Passer... Now, if I pump someone else than Sealed Passer, I don't actually mind if they block with the Bird Admirer on the Sealed Passer. Will be dealing a lot of damage. They have to block the Adeline no matter... I mean, the Flourishing Hunter will do that. Although... It's possible that... I mean, if I pump this kind of goes through and they will block. How do they? Okay, fine. I think that is it's not that easy, but I think this is. I should still pump the Sealed Passer here, because now it's if they don't block it. I mean, if they put no, they do need to put the Flourishing Hunter on the Adeline, and now they can. This is a lot of damage. They can eat one of these guys for free and they take, what, 8? No, they take 9 damage here. They go down to 3. And they have only the Bird Admirer left. Unless the card in their hand is doing something. Yeah. It is a knight now, but it doesn't matter. The problem they are facing is the number of creatures I have. Yeah, well, that does exactly nothing now, so... That's it. Game is over. That's not even a human when it's night. Alright, well... Is the opponent going to... No. Just attack with everything, no need to waste time here. There's nothing that they can do. Well, I have 2 lands in my hand if that's what they're counting. They have 9 lands, I have 9 lands. It's actually even number of lands. They have even drawn more cards than I. Yep, game is over. And I haven't lost the game in this event yet. Maybe I jinxed it right now, but some of the games have been easy though. I mean, not this one necessarily, but some of the earlier ones were easy. Yep, that's fine. Still haven't seen my 1-3. Not that I want to even see it early in the game, because it's not really you don't use 4 mana on turn 4 to draw 1 card. I mean, if you can just do anything else, it would be better. Black and white specimen. Could be some life gain stuff going on. Well, I have a Fateful Absence if they have like a Markov. Or they have Flesh Taker, which is actually nice with the... Hey, that's the card I actually didn't need here. But yeah, I'll think I'll just play the Drugskull Infantry. This is, while this combination is good, it's also quite slow in the early game. Late in the game, this is really nice. Basically, it's 4 mana to give this a +2/+2 and also get a scry effect. I mean, +2/+2 without losing anything in the process. So yeah, not gonna block because this would be a 4/4 and then I lose my infantry. They might still, if they want to scry and just deal extra damage, they could have done that. So Fateful Absence, oh, that's a good one too. Okay, well this starts to be a bit problematic. But I was saying that a Fateful Absence probably has to deal with the Flesh Taker, but don't know anymore. They can even say that this can't be blocked by white creatures. Okay. Let's raise then. I have the Gather Commando to try the surprise block. I mean, if they have to use 2 mana to not allow the trade to happen. What they do like that? Do they have Undying Malice there? If they did, I maybe would have just played the Fateful Absence there. Well, they didn't do anything. So I can, before blocks, use the Gather Commando. Rotten Reunion for a Decayed Zombie. Alright. That's something the Flesh Taker can eat. But yeah, they do have a Coven. But now at least I forced them to use this mid-combat. Mid-combat, which might, you know, not be part of their plan for this turn. Oh, they choose to just attack with the Decayed Zombie, that's fine. There's nothing to exile from my graveyard. So now they can use the Sungold Sentinel still to deal a lot of damage to me. I would take 8 here. And I'm not exactly winning this race, but it's not over yet. At least this leaves them only 2 mana. Now they can still use this. This is exile up to 1 target card. So they can play this without targets and still get the Decayed Zombie. They did the first one over already like that. So now Flesh Taker only takes 1 mana to sack another creature. So obviously I'm not gonna block that or either of these other 2 guys. So I just have to take the 8 damage here, which is horrible, but that's, I mean, there are only worse options left than that. Are they gonna want to scry? I mean, they could sacrifice the Specimen here. I guess they could sacrifice the Decayed Zombie token because the amount of damage is the same, and they just get the free scry. But that still uses, of course, 1 mana. So if they don't wanna use mana for that, oh, I was a fool. They get the scry always when they sacrifice a creature for any reason. Yeah, I always forget with the Flesh Taker that the Scribe Heart is sort of free. Alright, so now I will have 2 spells up. I will have a Triskaideka. I'm going to kind of try to raise. Now they will use the Rotten Reunion there. I will be going to a very low life total, but I don't think... Now, I do think this is the better idea here. I probably will Fateful Absence. Or I could also use the Cradle of Safety actually. But there's no reason to do anything right now. Because I of course have to hope they don't have an instant speed interaction. If they do, I'm dead. So that's that. But because I could block the Sentinel. Although the Flesh Taker is offering a lot of damage currently, they could sacrifice everything else. And that would... Well, it wouldn't be lethal though. It would only be a 6/6 in that case. So the point is, if I block the Sentinel and use the Cradle of Safety on the Triskaideka file, this is 2/4, this would eat the Sentinel at that point. They also might use Coven here, of course, but I mean the Coven ability to make it unblockable by blue creatures. And then if I play the Cathar Commander, they can use it again. But I'm not dead to this attack yet. This is close to dead. It's 8 damage. Oh, although if they... okay. Well, they choose that, which is going to mean now a couple of different things. I have now actually a lot of things to think about, because I could use any of the... Oh, I don't use the Cathar Commander because I don't have mana to sacrifice the Circle of Confinement. If I had 3 mana, that would be an option. So if I Cradle of Safety now, they can say this guy won't... then I would have to jump block the Flesh Taker actually. Because this says they have 1 sacrifice left there. Okay, so this would be a 4/4 if they use this Coven ability. I mean, it threatens to be a 4/4 plus 3 is 7. But if I block the 2/2, it's not... I mean, I could just play the Fateful Absence too. I mean, I kind of want to save this guy. I think I'm not dead, but I might have made a mistake. So I think they're gonna now use this Coven ability, say that the blue creatures can't block it. But I can still block, of course, the Decayed Zombie, which I would have to do, because then I will take 3 plus... Well, that's 6, and they can make this into... they can eat the Decayed Zombie to, deal 8, but I will be at 1 life at that point still. Sadly, my counterattack won't be lethal, but I have this Flash guy and I have the Fateful Absence, so maybe I can sort of still find a way here. This will also draw me cards if the game goes later. Oh, they just have that. So that's now exactly lethal, right? Because, yeah, that's exactly lethal now. And no, unless I have... No, I have to... it is not lethal, but I have to now... block the Flesh Taker, because if I block anything else, the Flesh Taker becomes a 4/4, and that's it. So I mean, this is, and they can even, I mean, I could have also jump blocked the Sun Gold Sentinel, but why would I jump block that? I would at least force them to use the Flesh Taker here. Yep, so that was really annoying thing to happen there. And now I have also the flyer to worry about, and I don't get the Triskaideka file. I guess I can draw my Wrath effect. I mean, it's not over, but... by the way, I did have the other Cathar Commander there. Somehow I forgot that. Alright. I mean, I still needed to use the 2 mana. I don't think letting this resolve and then using this to kill the Circle of Confinement, I don't think that would have made a ton of sense. Alright, so after all my raising, they're still at 15, because this also gains life. Well, I could attack with the Drugskulve Infantry, but the problem is this guy here. That is the actual problem. And the Flesh Taker is 2, so this can't be blocked. And it can. They have the Coven up. I guess if I... Okay, I'm gonna kill the Flesh Taker right now and hope they never get the Coven anymore. That is a really low chance to happen. But I guess I could have attacked with the Cathar Commando. Because I don't necessarily mind the block with the 1/1 flyer. And I actually don't. I needed to leave the infantry to block the specimen. And I have the other Cathar Commando to block the sentinel. So this could have actually attacked into the 1/1. The block would have been fine. Or if they take 3, at least that's a little bit closer to dealing the remaining damage there. But I think I need some huge help from the deck now. I don't. I need something very good. So there's no common, they can't activate the sentinel, and as long as they can't activate it, they are not gonna attack with it. The specimen can be blocked by the 2/2, so they draw a card there. They only need a 2 power creature. It should be very easy. Probably the most common power for black and white limited decks. But they didn't have it. Yeah, I should have attacked with my Cathar Commando. They actually wouldn't have even blocked it. And if they did, I would have not. That would have been good. Alright. So what do I find here? Something good, please. That is a good start. I have a couple of humans here. That can gain me life. And now I can attack. Well, I could attack with the 2/2, but they have the specimen there, so... I mean, they have mana up to return the specimen, so it doesn't even make any sense. Let's not bother with it. So I can match the flyer, but I'm still lost to... Yeah, I just literally lose if they have a Coven here. Okay, they have not only Coven, but they have a Crazy Bomb. So they get to say that this won't be blocked by white creatures. That's all I have. Game over. Alright, I haven't seen this, but I did have this in some game. I also had the Savior of Ollenborg in a game where it was really relevant, but this is now a good 2-drop, 3-drop start. I have even a couple of options for the 3-drop here now. This is not the, by the way, this is not the best Brian Comer deck. I don't have that many enchantments here, but I have some disturb creatures and enchantments. Oh, I didn't want to see... Is this the same opponent, by the way? I don't remember their name. But it's a matchup I don't want to repeat. They had a bit too good deck. Flesh Taker is a real problem. Maybe my Savior of Ollenborg can get rid of it for a while at least, but they play black, so that means they have a bunch of removal. Oh, they also have another color, so maybe this is not the same opponent. Alright, so, I mean, the trade is fine if they block. I don't think they're gonna block here. And now the question is... Well, there's no question. I play the Savior because this thing can train it once. Screaming Swamp. Yeah, I forgot this is my deck too. Could be relevant actually. I have 5 lands here already total, so this can be played. Unless the opponent somehow makes me discard it or game is super fast over. Okay, that is totally fine because I get to exile it for now. They will get it back and gain the 3 life, but they actually don't have good blocks with the Flesh Taker and they don't even plan on blocking with it. I mean, the only block is on the Hermit there. Okay, squad is decent, but I think I'll still play the Cathars. Probably. I could play a tap land and the squad too. But I like the squad a little bit more. How important is it to have 5 mana on the next turn? I don't think it is. I mean, I like the Cathars a little bit more than the squad. What That was what I was trying to say there. Because, I mean, both of them can train the Olembok guy, but... well, next turn I will have at least the... Okay, they have no place so far. I guess they have something for this to, you know, bring back the guys. That is most likely. I wish I had something like a... Imagine if I had a Cradle of Safety here. How great that would be. Now, there's a Malevolent Hermit, but it is a tax of 3. If they have... yeah, they can have something that allows them to... still paid. That is actually wrong tap. I'm thinking about tapping it in a way that if I draw a white 2-drop, I want to be able to play that, but I also don't want to tap the blue mana, and I also don't want to play the island because it might be that I would just play the Evolving Wilds this turn. This is actually quite interesting, a little puzzle in here, because I guess I'll just don't draw a white 2-drop, and if I do, then it's like, okay, that happened. And I did. So now the attack will be extremely risky with the Savior of Olembok. Let's go to combat. It went immediately to choose attackers. It's as if your opponent doesn't have any plays available. I think I'm gonna test the waters a bit. I'm gonna attack with the 3-3. Then if this dies, it's still going to... Okay, it went to straight to blocker, so they actually have nothing. Well, that's still good news. But if I left the white up there... but I guess this way I can keep the blue up here still. It's not so bad, actually. If they have... I mean, they could have a mass removal effect here. And now I can counter it with the Hermit. But it didn't seem like they had any priority. It went straight to blockers there. They have what? They had so many cards, so much mana, and so many different colors available. They still had no place there available. At least nothing that they wanted to use. Candle Trap on that thing. So that is actually not... It has Defender, but they have to exile it before, and they need Coven for that. So this is actually keeping this Dawnheart Rejuvenator as a hostage at least. For a few more turns. Alright, so now... I think I like the Hermit now. This might be doing some crucial things, you know, keeping them not playing some expensive bum non-creature stuff. Don't think there's any reason to do pre-combat stuff. I could play the Screaming Swamp, but I'm not even sure it's beneficial to mill them because they could have some disturb stuff. I'm not gonna win this game by milling. That's very unlikely. Alright, I will attack with these. I actually want to keep the Hermit now, and I will be playing the Dorothea. And I will be playing the Brinecomer, and I will have the mana up still. And I won't be playing the Lantern Bearer. I would rather keep mana up for the Hermit in case they have a mass removal effect. Now they must have a mass removal effect that costs, what, 4 mana at most? There's nothing like that. So I don't know what was in their hand, but it's possible the Hermit was actually doing the important job. It's also possible they were just crazy flooded out, in which case this was yet another one. Quite an easy game to win here. And it was now the 7th win. I just lost the 1 game. I won the first 6 ones back to back and then lost 1 and then another 7-1 here. Just like my previous draft was a 7-1 too. Pretty crazy stuff, but this event actually had some many easy games. For example, the last one, and also earlier in the event, there were at least 2 matches I remember where opponent didn't really curve out. That's why I've always emphasized this importance of the mana curve. If you don't do anything, let's say before turn 4, and the opponent goes to 2-drop, 3-drop, it doesn't even matter what the 2-drop and 3-drops are. If they have the sufficient interaction or pump spells to kind of push through the 4-drops and all that, which are your first plays, so it's very easy to just outrace the opponent. Now, I did of course win with the help of my rares too. Both Savior of Olembok won a game. By invitation only won me a game. But still, it wasn't... The rares weren't important in the games where the opponents didn't really, you know, put up enough stuff on the battlefield in the early game. Other than that, the deck was of course rather good. I mean, all these rares and still a pretty good quality of cards for these other non-rare cards, and yeah, I had some number of removal. I had the pump spell there. I didn't have too much trouble pushing through. And when I had to buy invitation only to clear the way. Alright, so another very successful draft event, and I will continue doing this. There will still be, well, one every day before Neon Dynasty, so double feature coming up next day. I will see you then. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.